Watch me on Bloomberg Quint.
Hello and welcome to Hot Money Technicals on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. This is a show which gets you a complete wrap of all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. I'm Darshan Mehta. Let's welcome our experts then. Brijesh, Bhatia of Dealmoney Securities, Raja Venkatraman of Chart Advice, and Aditya Agarwala of Securities join us on the show. Thank you to all my guests for joining me. But before we take the guest technical calls, let's go across to Jayesh Khilnani, who tells us about a pattern that the Bloomberg Terminal has thrown up on HDFC Bank. Jayesh, pull up the chart and tell us what it's indicating.
So Darshan, there's a possible buy signal on the HDFC Bank chart based on the moving average convergence divergence indicator, which shows you the momentum between two moving averages. Now what you see on the bottom panel is the white line and the blue line, and a crossover between these two lines gives you the direction or the buy and sell signal respectively. Now if you zoom into this, what you'll see is that the blue line has actually crossed above the white line, which means that there could be a buy signal. So as of now, the buy signal still holds, but end of day prices will determine whether we actually close at these levels or not. And you can see that the stock has crossed back above the 2000 rupee mark, up about 30 odd rupees. What we have seen in the stock is last few months, the stock has declined from record high of about 2200 to 2000 odd level. And this is the first time since the month of July that we are seeing positive MACD crossover. And if you have a look at the candle that we have, this is on the higher side. So if prices indeed close at current levels, we will have a potential buy signal on the chart of HDFC Bank.
Okay, and if you historically track this back?
So Darshan, I tracked this historically last 1 year. Each time such a scenario has happened, HDFC has given you incremental 2.5% return. Now you may argue that 2.5% is not a big amount, but given the kind of market that we are in and the weightage of HDFC Bank on the Nifty Bank itself and Nifty, that could mean that others could follow suit, which would indeed take the market on the higher side.
Okay, many thanks for that, Jayesh. Brijesh, would you buy HDFC Bank at this level?
Yeah, definitely. I will go long for a couple of reasons. One, if you look at the HDFC 200 as average, the stock has breached for a couple of sessions, but it is back again above the 200 as average. And if you look at the RSI on the daily chart, it is being around 2016 levels again, which is very much oversold. And even if I look at the weekly RSI, it's showing a positive reversal on the charts. So I would definitely look for a long on HDFC Bank.
Okay, long. What about you, Raja? Would you long?
HDFC Bank, after 3 months of decline, had dipped into deep oversold levels like Brijesh had mentioned. And now a key level around 2000 is a good value area region which has crossed today with a gap up opening, which definitely indicates that the stock was bullish and now these levels are attractive to buy in. So that's why a lot of buyers are coming in. So if it holds about 2000 at the end of today, it's a good buying decision.
Okay, watch out for 2000 at the end of the day. Aditya, what's your view?
I would completely agree with the two gentlemen and Jayesh as well. So if you take a look at the low this week, HDFC Bank has managed to hold on previous week's low. So previous week the low was 1910, this week low is 1915. So it's a higher low on a market on a week when markets have been so volatile and corrective. So I would go ahead, buy HDFC Bank, keep a stop at 1910 probably, or slightly below that. Good strong support close to about 1900, 1910 levels, and targets out here could be as high as 2100 again.
Okay, so positive views coming in on HDFC Bank. Let's get the ball rolling. We'll discuss the first stock recommendation, and Brijesh Bhatia has a chart on Biocon. The chart will come up on the screen right now. Brijesh, if you can join me. It's a buy on the basis of MACD, trading at record highs. Brijesh, what are you showing us?
If you look at this Biocon charts, the price has broken again the previous all-time high, and even if you look at the previous momentums where prices have broken the previous highs back from 2014, when prices are breaching at previous highs, and even if you look at the MACD when it is giving a positive crossover above the integer line, which is the zero line, which has been again, if you look at this current scenario, prices are going a positive crossover, and with the breaks of previous high, I think this is definitely and if you look at the momentum very much picks up on the weekly charts. Previous also, if you look at these breakout as well as these breakout, the momentum is clearly in the bullish phase when price breakouts and MACD positive crossover is witnessed. So I think this is definitely a buy with stop loss of just 660 below this level. It's trading at around 700 sort of. I think 798.34 could be the targets on the upside. One can.
How soon do you see these targets coming in?
Maybe probably 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. Can you give us more details on what this line is? Why have you pushed it here?
This is, I've just marked the previous high breakouts. If you look at this previous all-time high, it was around 696, 695 levels. Prices have breached those levels. Even if you look at this year, prices have breached the previous high levels again. And if you look at it on the downside, prices are giving positive crossover above the zero line, which is the integer line.
Okay.
The similar scenario we are witnessing here as well.
Okay.
Prices are breaking above the high, positive crossover with histogram trending on the bullish side. I think this is definitely a good bet to go long.
Okay, so positive view 660 is the stop loss. Thank you so much, Brijesh. Raja, would you be a buyer in Biocon?
Yes, definitely. Biocon had been bucking the trend even earlier before all the pharma started, and now also with all the pharmas showing in the green. This is the definite positive trend in this, and with the recent breakout above 675 to 685 levels, I would be a buyer at current levels and also on declines to these levels, because overall momentum is quite strong and one should actually be looking to buy it from a short-term perspective.
Till what level will you buy on the lower side?
Around 675 to 685.
675, and would you keep a stop loss? His is 660. What's your?
Yes, that's the ideal stop loss which Brijesh has mentioned.
Okay, Aditya, your view on Biocon? Would you be a buyer or would you wait?
So I would wait. Stock is facing resistance close to about 720 odd levels. That happens to be 127% retracement. And plus, if I take a look at the RSI for the last 3 trading sessions, the momentum has been losing. The RSI is making a lower high. So there is quite resistance on the RSI as well, close to about 70 to about 73. So I would ideally wait for a dip close to about 670 to about 675. That could be an ideal level to get into Biocon. Not at current levels. I see a slight correction in Biocon, probably 1% or 2% before I would get into Biocon again.
Okay, so I think it's a consensus call that's coming in on Biocon, not a bearish call at all. 660 is the stop loss, but if you're getting the counter at anywhere between 670 to 680, that's the time you would start accumulating. Brijesh believes that even at this level, Brijesh, you would agree that you should buy at this level?
Absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
It can be a bullish.
So now it's a bullish call that's coming in on Biocon, but now we have a sell call. Raja has a sell call on Adani Ports. We'll pull up the charts, Raja, if you can join me. Let's pull up the chart. It's a sell on MACD, sorry.
Yeah. So what has happened is, after the strong rise which we saw in 2017, the stock has been moving sideways for quite some time, and now we are witnessing consistent long body candle formation, which is seen on the charts. And now I've used the concept of Bollinger Band, and I see on the weekly charts that the prices are tagging the lower band. And despite the market today witnessing some upside, the selling pressure continues to build even on some small rise which you see here. Plus on the MACD, I've used as a momentum indicator. You can see here there is a fresh short which is building up. So all these evidences suggest that we could look at some potential decline in the coming months. So one could actually use this as a potential
short. Would you short at this level, or
yes,
would you wait?
We'll short at this level also.
So it's 335. What's the ideal target that you have?
Around 290.
Around 290. So that means another
295 you can keep as
another 40-45 rupee downside. Yes. And is there a stop loss that you would use?
Yes. So one could actually look at the brief rally which could emerge to around 350-55 levels as a rally point, and keep a stop loss about 365 for a decline to the targets mentioned, 295.
Okay, so it's a call on the sell side, and the MACD is the indicator that you've used, and Bollinger Bands is something.
Bollinger Bands on the price.
Okay, many thanks for that, Raja. We'll ask our guest. Aditya, would you short Adani Ports?
Yes, I would go ahead and short the stock. There is extreme bearishness on the stock. The first target for me would be 310. If 310 is broken, probably stock can slide all the way lower to 290 as well. So there is weakness. RSI is suggesting there is further downside. 200 weekly moving average is close to about 320 odd levels, so that is a minor support zone for the stock. But overall, there is weakness in the stock. I see further downside.
Okay, and Brijesh, are you sensing weakness in Adani Ports also?
Yeah, definitely. The stock we have witnessed a strong distribution happening in this stock, and the stock has broken the range around 355, which it was holding for quite some time. So I would slightly wait for a 2 to 3% rise, bounce towards around 345, 348 levels to go short, and definitely look for around 276 as the target. with the stop loss of 371.
Okay, so I think it's a consensus sell call that's coming in. Obviously, you need to time it. Raja is saying you can short at the current levels. The other two guests are indicating that even at higher levels, this counter could be shorted. But that's the trend that's coming in on Adani Ports. The third stock we want to talk about, and that is Asian Paints. Aditya is betting on Asian Paints. Aditya, what is the indicator that you've used, and explain this chart to us.
Definitely. So this is one of those stocks which have been which happens to buck the trend and has been able to hold on to the support levels of 1250 odd levels. If you take a look at the historical support zone for the stock took good consolidation at around 1250 odd levels, and from there stock saw a sharp run up in prices. Right now it has done exactly the same. It's taking support close to about 1250 odd levels out here. This also happens to be 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level of this entire move from here to here. If I take a move from here to here, 61.8% Fibonacci strong retracement support levels also come here. So it's on the verge of a breakout from a downward sloping channel. The channel resistance is close to about 1335 to about 1340 odd zone. So a successful breakout with good volumes will definitely trigger a start of a fresh bull trend in the stock and can take the stock higher to close to about 1375 to about 1430 odd levels again.
How much time can you see
probably a month or two? I see a good upside in the stock. It can test its previous all-time highs as well.
What's the stop loss that you've kept?
So the 1250 should be an ideal stop loss for the stock if it goes below the support line.
But you said that at 1250 it always bounces back.
Yes.
So if 1250, do you see another bounce back coming in?
Definitely. So I see another bounce back in the stock. So if I take a look at the RSI also, RSI is placed at a healthy support zone of 40. So it's just turned up from the lower end of the bull zone, which is 40, and expected to reach the upper end of the bull zone, and breakout above 1335 to 1340 will definitely trigger an upside in the stock.
Okay, and 1250 is your strict stop loss.
1245 probably 5 rupee down from 1250 will be a decent stop loss.
Okay, so that's the trend that's coming in on Asian Paints. We'll ask our other guests what they believe. Thanks so much, Aditya. Brijesh, Asian Paints, what's your trend?
Definitely, I go for a long again because if you look at the prices have been testing previous highs and showing again a sign of bullish momentum. Even as he spotted that RSI is being showing sign of oversold, and even if you look at the MACD, it is on the verge of giving a bullish crossover. So I would definitely look for a long opportunity, and probably for a medium term point of view, one can look at 1400 level also on the stocks.
And what's your stop loss for?
I would stop loss I would slightly place towards 1261.
1261.
Yeah.
And is that a strict stop loss, or is there any accumulation that you would see?
I think that would be a good stop loss. Strict stop loss, one should maintain it.
Okay, what about you, Raja?
Yeah, the stock after 2 months of decline, he rightly mentioned that it has come into a good, Aditya has rightly said that it has come into 61.8% Fibonacci retracement support. And also on the daily charts, the RSI is showing some divergences, which is causing some buying happening on the stock. And with the recent move which we are seeing, we can expect a move up to 1370.
Okay.
And the stop losses of 1260 is also appropriate, because after that again the stock will again slip into the negative side.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on Asian Paints. Again, all three of our guests are indicating accumulation as far as Asian Paints is concerned, but the stop loss is different. 1260 is something that both Raja and Brijesh have indicated. Aditya, who actually spoke about the stock and recommended the stock, his stop loss is 1245 on the counter. So that's something that you need to watch out for, and they see potential of anywhere close to 1400 on Asian Paints. The next stock that we want to talk about is IndusInd Bank. Now, banks have been on a steady downtrend. Brijesh is bullish on IndusInd Bank, and Brijesh, let's get the chart up. It's a buy after a big drop that we've seen. You believe that the counter could potentially have an up move now?
Yeah. So if you look at these RSI, it has been slightly on the oversold territory, and even if I look at these, the rally from here to this correction, so there is a bullish reversal pattern called shark, which is a harmonic pattern, which generally that defines the reversal, and it has been calculated on the basis of Fibonacci. So if I take the measure from this levels to this level, it is generally around 88.6%, and that generally defines that the stock is on the verge of reversal. And if I look at this momentum, the negative momentum is being consolidating. The stock has been consolidating, and stock is already in the oversold territory. So if I look at the previous history, can you change the charts?
Yeah, they will do it.
Okay. Yeah. So if you look at these RSI here, and even if you look at the previous, okay, all this time when RSI has moved towards 20-25 level zone, and the stock has marked the major bottoms. Yeah, if you look at the previous rally also, so the similar formation we are witnessing when stocks have marked the major bottoms, and it has rallied towards the fresh highs. So I think for a trading bet, one can take a risk at around 1700 sort of levels, and targets can be placed at 1790 to around 1840 levels. So stop loss I have just mentioned below this, which is around 1630, 1640 is the low. So slightly 1619 could be the stop loss.
So this is mainly like a trading bet that you're playing. How soon do you see 1800 or 1750 levels on the counter?
1750, I have just taken the measurement of retracements of 38.2% at 1780, 1790, and if I take the retracement of 50%, it's around 1850.
But how soon do you see
so
them?
I think for 3 to 5 weeks could be the probable reversal targets.
Okay, and what is the stop loss that you said?
I just mentioning below this, so 1619 can be the stop loss. This is around 1635, 1640 low.
1620, let's round it out. So 1620 is the stop loss with a potential target in excess of 1800 on IndusInd Bank. Thank you so much, Brijesh. Aditya, would you go long on IndusInd Bank?
Without a doubt. So all the levels that he's mentioned are absolutely bang on. RSI is sitting at extreme oversold levels, and the pivot points that he's pointed out do work out well. Also, just to point out on the weekly chart, if you plot a 100 DMA, IndusInd Bank has not broken its 100 DMA from 2009 onwards. The 100 DMA right now is close to about 1610. Stock made a low close to about 1650. So that's like kissing distance from 100 DMA, and the stock has bounced back. So I would definitely go long in IndusInd Bank. Potential target would be as high as probably 1825 to about 1900 also. Okay,
1825 to 1900. Raja, would it be a third thumbs up?
Yeah, actually no, because I feel that the stock is witnessing pressure, and currently, even though the momentum indicators are indicating oversold status, I would actually wait for a decline towards 1650 to 1670 levels, where it would be near the previous sets of low on the weekly charts, and there I would be a buyer.
But is it indicating any kind of bearish stance as of now?
Yes, because I'm using the concept of ADX, where the negative DI line is quite strong, and that definitely suggests that there is more bearish pressure in the stock left. And if the markets are not going to give up, then you are definitely going to witness some selling pressure. And if that happens, then this stock actually, if you note, it started falling first amongst the banks. This was a stock which started falling first along with SDFC Bank.
Okay.
So it's now come into a support, yes, but are the momentum supporters indicators indicating whether it could be a buy? It would be like a risky buy. Like he rightly said, it's a risky buy. For those who want to take some aggression and go for the trading opportunity, can go for this. But for those who want to play a little bit for a long term, should avoid IndusInd Bank.
Okay, so I think that's the view that's where we're coming in. It's interesting that we got this discussion. Anyway, Brijesh had clarified this is more like a trading bet. It's a risky bet with a stop loss. Aditya also indicated the same levels. Raja is of the view that this should be avoided. If it comes down to levels, another 20-30 rupee downside, that is the level he will start accumulating IndusInd Bank. But let's move on to the next stock, and that is Exide. Raja has a view on Exide. It's a buy as far as Fibonacci charts are concerned. Exide is at 270 currently. What's the outlook?
See, the overall, after a lot of ranging action, this stock has really moved well this year.
Okay.
And after forming a shooting star at the highs, it has come back into 38.2% Fibonacci retracement. So this retracement level is a good pullback in an uptrend. So now we are seeing there it's forming on the weekly charts, it's forming lower shadows, which indicates that there is buying happening here. Plus the DI lines are converging, and the possibility of revival is quite high. So now if anybody is looking for a long side in a beaten down market, this stock offers a good low risk opportunity, and that's why I have chosen this stock as a buy opportunity.
Okay. What's the target? What's the stop loss?
Yeah, the target would be below 251. One could also buy on a pullback towards 260 levels, and on the upside you have a target of 310.
Okay, 310 with a stop loss. What's the stop loss?
The stop loss will be below 251.
Below 250 is the stop loss, and you're looking at levels of over 310. You're seeing that potential bounce will come in from this green line?
So because it has come into this support and it is forming shadows here, which indicates that there is buying happening. And you could also see that on a long term, this line which has been drawn.
What's the purpose of that line? Can you explain?
This is a trend line which I have drawn from the previous highs, which was formed in April 2017.
Okay.
So it's again it's a good value area. Here you could see the prices consolidating at these levels.
Okay.
Again, the dip into these levels are actually being seen bought into. So all this suggests that you could have a revival from here.
Okay, so 270 is where Exide looks exciting to Raja. Aditya, what's your view on Exide? Would you be bullish?
Yes, stock is, so the entire pack is showing some momentum, upside momentum. Amara Raja, Battery, Exide, both are buzzing. So I would place a stop at 255. There is a momentum play in the stock, definitely. Targets could be 284, 285. I won't hold on to it for too long, probably a week. And look for targets of 285. That's
okay, so it's a short-term trend that
very short-term trend for me.
Okay, Brijesh, third thumbs up, or would you avoid?
Yeah, for trading bet, I would definitely look for a long, but my slightly targets would be around 277, 78 levels, and one can keep a stop loss of around 261. Even if you look at the couple of days back momentum where stock has reversed aggressively, so the volumes were very much high. I think the 50 DMA would slightly play a resistance for the stock, and if in case 280, 281 is taken out convincingly, then stock could be in a fresh bullish momentum above 300 level as well.
Okay, so those who are looking for a short-term play, remember, this is not a long-term play. At least for a short-term play, Exide is the stock that you want to talk about. Final stock that we want to talk about is in the pharma space. Pharma of late has been on an uptrend, and the stock that we want to talk about is Aurobindo Pharma. Let's pull up the stock to see. It's a triangle breakout that has happened. It's doing well for itself, but Aditya, what's the view?
So as you rightly pointed out, Pharma is actually helping the Nifty stay wherever it is right now. And Aurobindo Pharma post the sharp breakout, volumes were very good. Volume is not here. So volumes were very good in this breakout. Right now it is just declining on thin volumes, and it is testing the neckline of this triangle from which it had broken out. If I convert this into a daily chart, this falls into a flag pattern, bullish flag pattern. So this is called a pole, and post a pole, this is just consolidating. So this also support level also happens to be the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level of this up move. So this is good consolidation that's going on in the stock right now. The upward momentum has not yet started, but I believe it will start soon post the consolidation is done. So at current levels, the risk to reward is in favor of going long in the stock. Plus, if I look at the RSI, RSI had broken out from its previous peaks, and it tested levels of 70 on the when the stock hit levels of 800 and above. Right now, it just dipped towards 60 again, which is a good sign. RSI sitting at 60. Stock consolidating at the neckline of a breakout zone. It's a very healthy stock to get into. My targets out here could be as high as 850 to about 890 on the upside.
Okay, so 100, 150 rupee upside. Is there a stop loss that you would keep?
So I would keep a stop loss at 690. This is the support zone. The low of this candle is a good strong support. 690 will be my stop loss, and time frame would be about 1 to 2 months.
Well, and how long do you see this consolidation happening?
So probably the consolidation can go on for a couple of trading days more. I expect a breakout soon, because if I take a look at the daily chart, there is buying seen from the lower levels in the stock, and it's a matter of time when it breaks out of that flat pattern on the daily chart.
Okay, many thanks for that. Aurobindo Pharma on the bullish side. Raja, would you buy Aurobindo Pharma?
Yes, I am definitely in agreement with Aditya. The stock has definitely pulled back into support, but the levels which I would watch out for is 760 levels, where above that it will indicate a good, nice follow through to the flag pattern which he has identified, and the momentum indicators will also kick in, and so together the price and momentum could actually take the price higher towards 810.
Okay, 810. So pretty much similar targets that are coming in on Aurobindo Pharma. Brijesh, your final word on Aurobindo?
Definitely a long bet for a couple of things. If the stock has retested its breakout, and if you look at this breakout, it's been price breakout is with strong volume. So volumes is at around 5 years highest level on the monthly charts, and if you look at the momentum on the MACD momentum on the monthly, it has given a positive crossover after nearly 4 years. But in 2016 it has given a negative crossover, and stock was consolidating on the downside, and this is the first time after nearly 5-6 years the stock has given a positive crossover on MACD. So definitely for a medium to long term, definitely a long with the stop loss of 680, 685.
Okay, so consensus buy call coming in on Aurobindo Pharma. These are the stocks that our experts have said, but before we end, one more stock from Jayesh Khilnani. Jayesh.
Darshan, it's once again a heavyweight on the Nifty. Reliance is what we are actually picking up, and that is because the trender indicator that is on the verge of turning positive. First, for the viewers, what is a trender indicator? It's a proprietary Bloomberg indicator which uses the concept of average to range to calculate the trend or indicator. Very simple to interpret because you have to just follow the color of the indicator. When it turns from red to green, that is where you have to go and buy, and the other way around you go out and sell. Now, a few conditions that you have to keep in mind is when you look at this chart, you have seen that the stock price has declined from 1300 plus levels to less than 1200, and now the stock has recovered some bit, currently at about 1264. What you see over here is if this candle, which is today's candle, closes above this red line, which was the previous resistance indicated by the trend or indicator, that is when your buy signal will come in. And historically, Darshan, once again 2.5% sort of return, but keeping in mind market conditions and the weight of reliance on the index, 2.5% could be sufficient to propel the market higher from current levels.
Okay, many thanks for that, Jayesh. Reliance the big boy, Brijesh.
Definitely a long. Minor resistance could be around 1285, 1286 zone, but I think it would convincingly be taken out if market slightly reversed, and I would bet for around 1330, 1340 levels on the upside.
Okay, Raja, Reliance.
Reliance is a buy. Current levels and upside towards 1340 with a stop loss below the current level of 1250.
Okay, and Reliance?
Yes, a definite thumbs up from my side. I see new highs in Reliance. Stock has taken support at 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level on the weekly chart. RSI has taken support at 60, turned upwards. Fresh leg of up move is starting in Reliance. So definitely it can support the markets as well. An upside in Reliance. Go ahead and buy.
Okay. So a lot of 8 stocks that were discussed today in trade today. But with that, it's a wrap on today's Hot Money. Ask BQ comes up next. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.